this is how it works. It feels a little worse than when we drove our hearse right through that screaming crowd, while laughing up a storm until we were just bone, until it got so warm that none of us could sleep, and all the styrofoam began to melt away. We tried to find some worms to aid in the decay, but none of them were home inside the catacomb. A million ancient bees began to sting our knees, while we were on our knees praying that disease would leave the ones we love and never come again. On the radio we heard November rain. That solo's real long, but it's a pretty song.
It's about her life. Every piece is her life.
All of the work, all of the feeling, and all of the emotion that she's put into the art really comes out, and I think really touches and it influences people.
Everything she creates just is totally expressive.
She is willing to just put her heart and her soul on the line for everyone to see.
The fact that she's able to want something and go through with it and get it, always.
Theresa is so different and it's so cool. It just bugs you. You go to bed almost thinking about it.
For the fact that he was an engineer, and mothers prefer doctors and lawyers.
I really find it humorous what I paint. It just blows me away because I don't know where it comes from, you know.
We went to Costa Rica and we lived there for 8 months, traveled around. We rented a house with a carport in the back and made that our studio. Theresa at that time took a big canvas and just threw it up over the carport and rolled it down the other side and started this piece and another piece. Picked up a palm frond from the backyard, laid it on the canvas and spray painted the leaves. That was the beginning of it. That was the first layer.
This one is mother, and this one is child. This was one piece, so this was the bottom half of this piece. Out of the blue, I just was like, you know what? Like, cut it, you know? And everyone's like, oh my God, what are you doing? You're cutting your art. So now this became a fragment of this. This represents the umbilical cord right here. Here's the umbilical cord. Everybody chooses when they really want to cut their own cord. For some people, it's never.
To display a work of love in something that you've been working on, whatever it is, to be as committed to it as Theresa is, then to see it on display, it isn't about the accomplishment as much as it is about the journey. This particular piece is one that I'm attracted to the intensity of it because of the religious and spiritual nature of the piece, having Christ on the cross and the fellows standing next to the cross with the shadow of the cross coming down, making their choices of which way they go. It's a very controversial piece because I think it's a piece of work that would bother some people. But for me, it really speaks to the beauty of us recognizing who we are in our own hearts, what God represents to us if there is a God in your life.
It's not like normal art. It gets to your soul, and it kind of, you just see yourself in it, and that's what's cool about it, I think. Yeah, I love this piece. Everyone's been like brokenhearted, and everyone finds a way to get out of it, and this is her way, is by drawing, writing about it. Even though it's ugly in her, it doesn't feel good in her, it comes out beautiful.
Lilith is my daughter. She's now 2 years of age. And then we have the creation, and their fingers are touching, and there's Lilith, then there's all these hearts. This is when I conceived her, and I would say that this represents like creation.
My relationship with this wonderful artist, Theresa, started with a phone call to clean her house. We happen to have a cleaning company and a few other companies. And we got a whole lot more than we bargained for. We turned into just the most amazing experience. She didn't know I was an art collector. I didn't know she was an artist. And I was never into contemporary art, but when I saw her works,
If I kiss you where it's hard.
I just got drawn into it. This is the one that I love the most. And it just expresses so much joy and passion. And the best thing that ever happened to me is meeting Theresa.
We intentionally saved all of her 27 pieces to unveil them at the same time at this show. Everything here is an original, and we wanted it all to come out at the same time. She uses natural substances and everything from the environment wherever we traveled, and she put them in the piece. So not only does it have a memory, but it has a personal story that always touches me. She doesn't start a piece and know where it's going. Every time she paints, it takes on a life of its own. But she loves to go big.
I go to places that call to me, and I get inspired by the environment around me. So I'm painting and the wind blows and this banana leaf's like and fell, and so I just ripped it off, glued it on. This is a map of the world. Different maps of different parts of the world. It's like a flag which represents, to me, separation. We're one earth, and we're all like really, about the environment and about, being an earth. Why do we have these flags that separate us, like we're better than you? And I like that it's like the flag of the earth. Like walk on it.
I've been collecting art actually since I was about 18 or 20. I probably got 300 or 400. Some are behind doors, some are in closets. She's got a style all her own. I mean, you could just almost spot it. The rest of them just like they took a brush, but hers is like got depth to it.
Being surrounded by her work, it's touching. Theresa is like somebody I've never met before. She has an energy, a presence, a positiveness about her. It shows through her work. I feel fortunate to be a part of this team and to be her friend.
Some people hate this. Some people, what's the artist intending to do? There are eyes embedded in all the stars. She's a woman. She's not of color. This is how women feel when they allow themselves to accept and embrace their femininity. My art has helped me a lot to feel comfortable in my own body. If you're happy and you love your life, you feel beautiful.
This is how it works. You're young until you're not. You love until you don't. You try until you can't. You laugh until you cry. You cry until you laugh. And everyone must breathe until their dying breath.
She's an intense, free-spirited, awesome individual that totally believes in faith and in love.
She's doing it, and so kind of makes me just like, yeah.
Stick it into someone else's heart, pumping someone else's blood, and walking arm in arm. You hope it don't get harmed, but even if